You don't throw a young guy out there that really doesn't have a full grasp of the National Football League and what's expected of him. Yes, in the first preseason game, vanilla off defenses, he excelled at. But then as you start to get into things, Jalen, you start to get into the second preseason game, the third preseason game. Now all of a sudden there's stunts and there's games and there's blitzes and there's all these different exotic defenses that's coming at you. Come the regular season, it's a different game than the preseason. I'm not trying to get fired messing around with Sam Darnold right now. I can use the excuse later on in the year, if we're losing, I can insert him into the lineup and say, hey, look, he's playing great. Wait till next year. Right now, I can't do that as a new quarterback with a head coach that's basically on the hot seat.
How about our quarterback?
Each team that drafted a quarterback in the first round, guess what else they did? Acquired a veteran this offseason for that exact reason. Sammy Sosa for the first 3 or 4 games, and they're 1-3. Guess what the fans in New York are going to be doing? Booing their rookie. And then all of a sudden, your future isn't as bright because they're destroying his confidence.
He gonna get killed. K-I-L-T. Okay? You don't want that.
Is that a Scottish reference?
You just don't want that. That's not what you want.
Okay, so.
Greetings and good evening. Welcome to the Roundtable, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. Welcome, I am Drew, and welcome to Conference Championship Weekend Recap. We're now down to 2 from that Final 4, where we had 2 phenomenal games this past weekend where weather did play a part. More so than what we thought going into the weekend, even though that both games knew that the possibility of inclement weather happening. It did happen. It did affect the outcome of, at a minimum, one of those conference championship games. And we'll have a talk about that. Quick shout out to everybody in the Roundtable audience. Thank you for joining us on this fine Tuesday evening, wherever you are in this world of ours. We hope, it is our prayer, it is our continued concern that you are in a safe environment and leading the best life that you possibly can be, but being actively engaged in the community in which you reside and making sure that we're all equally treated. Griff, how are we doing on this fine Tuesday evening after this good weekend of football, my man?
Hey, my brother, doing good, man. Just got back from San Antonio, Troy. Charged it to my head and not to my heart. I was a turn and burn. My grandbaby is here right now. So I thought that my partner's retirement ceremony was going to be Thursday, but it was actually today. So I drove down there, partaked in that 30 years of service, outstanding ceremony. Came on back here hanging with the grandbaby. The weather is starting to warm up again here in Houston. By the time I got back here, we was in our 50s, man. So to all that's still shoveling snow, my heart go out for you. Stay warm and drink a lot of water.
My brother, yes, sir. Definitely here on the right coast or the East Coast, we are battling single digits, trying to stay above 10. Like we playing in the cold weather football January night. But yeah, stay warm. I'm glad that you had a good day. Anytime you have an opportunity to participate or attend or witness a retirement ceremony of a service member who has dedicated at least 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years of their professional life and career and their family. For those of them that have a family and the sacrifice that they go through, it is an honor. So congratulations to your partner. Congratulations, Sarah Major, on a successful career. And best of luck to you and the family as you pursue whatever that next chapter in your life is. Hopefully, you weren't pulling for the Denver Broncos this past weekend, because if you were disappointed. Griff, the Denver Broncos went into the AFC Championship game as the number 1 seed, as someone or a team that you could actually feel a little comfortable with, a backup quarterback who hasn't smelled the field in over 700 90 plus days, according to the stat that I saw, where this was his first active snap since 2023. And there is no bigger game than the AFC or the NFC championship game. Most often it's bigger than the Super Bowl, depending on who your opponent is. Stidham had the drive of his life, the first drive of that game when Denver got the ball after the opening kick. Nothing could have gone better to set him, the team, and more importantly, the coaching approach that Sean Payton should have taken based off of what he saw was successful in that first drive. What happened? Was it a New England shutdown from the defensive perspective? Did Mike Vrabel come with a game plan, or was it that Sean Payton outcoached Sean Payton?
Sean Payton, I coach Sean Payton. Honestly, I don't want to take nothing away from the Patriots. They won the game. I really don't. But I will say this: Stidham far exceeded expectations on that first drive and got the team down there and scored. Then you get the team in another situation where you can score again. You already had an opportunity to look at the Patriots offense, and they were sputtering. They had no answer for that Denver defense. So why not go up 10 points? Now you 10-0, and you already know that the weather is going to change at halftime. This was not a surprise. They said before the game, by halftime, it was going to be snowing. 10 points, when you got a team like Denver with the defense they had, that's all you really need, especially when the other side is not doing. Plus, they missed 2 field goals, too. So, Sean Payton lost this game. I mean, he could see they fired the OC today. They can say what they want to. But in my eyes, Denver lost this game.
Yo, when I saw
the Patriots, on paper, they won the game, but they didn't. Denver lost this game.
Yeah. I'll touch on the Patriots and how they performed in this game as compared to how they need to perform in the next game here in a bit. But touching on Sean Payton, I said on Friday night that, hey, Sean Payton is an aggressive guy, right? If Jarrett Stidham has an arm that can be trusted, Sean Payton is going to test it. And lo and behold, in the very first drive, he tested it and was very successful. So I, after seeing that first drive, said that, well, Sean Payton and his game plan is going to shift because of the amount of success that he had on this first drive. He's going to be able to do a absolute mix of run and pass where you can use Stidham's arm in the mid-range to short passing game to keep that defense guessing and have that run game control the clock, especially after what you said about the defense completely shutting down Drake May. If not for that defensive touchdown, the team that averages 28 points a game didn't do anything.
They didn't do nothing.
Vance Joseph has a job today because of that. Why they fired their offensive coordinator today? That was just Sean Payton lashing out. That's Sean Payton's fault. Sean Payton is one of the top 3 offensive play callers in the National Football League, ladies and gentlemen. One of the top 3. He doesn't need an offensive coordinator, but he has one, but he still calls the plays. Yep. Sean Payton is responsible for this loss, not Jarrett Stidham and his fumble that caused the touchdown, not a field goal kicker that could not make field goals in inclement weather. It is Sean Payton. Own it. Now, for New England, Denver has a very good defense, and they exposed what New England is able to do on offense. And going into the Super Bowl, you're not only playing a defense that is just as comparable, but you're going to be playing one most likely faster, stronger, better than what you saw this past weekend. Weather aside, Mike Vrabel needs to have an offensive game plan that utilizes both the run game and the pass game and the legs of Drake May to be able to have some offensive stability against a Seattle defensive team that is going to be all over them. But we'll talk about that a little later. But phenomenal year for the Denver Broncos. In my opinion, they overachieved, obtaining the number 1 seed in the national or in the AFC. We knew they were going to be competitive against the Kansas City Chiefs for the division title. Circumstance happened. They won the division title. They won the number 1 seed. Got to the AFC title game in year 2 of Drake May's career, or not Drake May, but Bo Nix's career. So it sets you up for future success. Sean Payton is not the type of coach that sits on his laurels. They will have continued success as they continue to build to ensure that they do not allow Kansas City to come back next year and dethrone them. So Kansas City Denver will be back next year in the same position, fighting for a Super Bowl spot. But New England did what they needed to do to win, and they are moving on.
Let me just say this because again, when I step in and I chose Denver strictly because of the coach and the experience. I have to. That was my sole reason for picking Denver last week. And Sean Payton definitely let me down in this one, bro.
You and me both, man.
It was not Jerry Stidham. Jerry Stidham did exactly what we expect. Matter of fact, he far even with the backwards pass that put them in scoring drives or whatever, he still far exceeded my expectations in this game. I blame him.
Yeah, because he was confident. He was not rattled. He did not see any imaginary defensive lineman coming. His passes, some of them were a bit early, or some of them were the timing simply was not right. But that's expected because he hasn't practiced with that.
He had some receiver. He also had some receivers that dropped some balls too.
Yeah,
some catchable balls that could have extended plays. But again, I know we got to move on, man. But hey, that's your boy, man. That's all.
Right. You're in Denver, but as the saying goes, that he mine. I'm gonna do what?
You gonna stand beside him?
I'm gonna stand beside him at least for this year until he play the Saints.
Troy,
but
no nobody care who you pick, Troy. You know you changed your pick. He changed his pick right after the backwards pass.
Did he? No, I think Troy did pick the Patriots on Friday.
Troy, I don't know, man. Troy like
I'm gonna go give Negatodamas his props only for this whole
Troy like
weekend.
Fred, man. Troy like Fred, man. He's a celebrationist.
No, Troy act like he got a little bit of knowledge, right?
He do.
Troy. Now, Christian, I often sometimes think of your commentary, bro, as a mixture of Shay, Stephen A, and just a little bit of Just Saturday.
Man, right? Wow. Ooh, that's an insult. And look, Fred is in the house right now, too. Man,
now, Fred is my guy. That is the equivalent of Ryan Clark. Let me stick to football. Hey. Man, once, twice, 3 times a lady. We were talking about the Commodores a little bit earlier, and this is the 3rd meeting between the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks this year. And obviously throughout the week leading up to the game, a bunch of stats as to how each team performed in this game, the amount of turnovers that our favorite quarterback now, Sam I Am, the gingerbread man, Darnold had in the previous 2 games or in the previous 3 games against the Rams as a quarterback going back to last year in the playoffs with the Minnesota Vikings. And whether or not Sam Darnold could be a mistake-free quarterback to give his team a chance, right? Side by side, these 2 teams matched up like a mirror. Looking at this person you see in the mirror every single morning, because what you can do to me, I can do to you, and vice versa. And the stats showed it, the numbers showed it, the points showed it, the time of possession showed it, the yardage showed it. I mean, they were literally separated by 1 yard, 1 point, 1 passing yard in some categories in these two games leading up to this past weekend. We had the NFL regular season game of the year on that Thursday night between the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks in that overtime thriller. We knew this game was going to be something similar. Maybe not as many fireworks, not as many points, but we knew it was going to be a back and forth game, Griff, and it would come down to what we both said. Can Sam Darnold be mistake-free? Not only was he mistake-free, is Sam I am the man now? Has he finally arrived with this performance? Do you now believe, as Dion famously once said, do we believe in Sam now? Or was it that I'm finally getting over that one hump with the Rams? What was it for you that impressed you by Sam Darnold's performance this past weekend?
Man, what I said on Friday, if he don't make any mistakes, like you said, they done played 3 times this year. The first time that they lost, it was four interceptions, and they still only lost by a field goal, I think. Yeah, man, Sam been doing this thing, man. I mean, again, some teams normally have your number, but Sam is not the Sam Darnold that was drafted into the league, the one that was playing with the Jets that was seeing ghosts. I mean, you seen him in Minnesota last year. He just showed you that he has come into his own. It's just he needed to be in the right system with somebody that believed in it. And I would tell you, the way that boy played it, by far, he saved his best game of the season for this past weekend. I mean, you would have thought, based off his previous encounters with the Rams, hey, maybe we're gonna dial this thing back a little bit, put the ball a little bit more in Kenny Walker's hand, and let the defense do what they do. But they did not hold back in this passing game. I mean, he was going round for round with Stafford. It was a great game, man. Great game on both parts. Both offenses is awesome. The Seattle defense, I was shocked that they allowed the Rams to get the points that they did. They bent, but they didn't break. They when they needed to stop them on 4th down, when they needed to stop them down in the red zone, they was able to do what they had to do. And hell, they even kept the Rams in the game on when my man turned the sideline. And then what Stafford do? Okay, not only do we get 15 yards for you turning us, now I'm going to go right back at you again with Puka and score a touchdown. So
I'm coming right back at you. Yes, sir.
Man, I know we're going to talk about this game that's coming up, man, but I told you Friday, the winner of this game is going to be the Super Bowl champion, and I don't see it being no other way. We'll talk about that when we get into our next segment. But
Okay.
yeah, Sam is that guy, man. Sam
I am the gingerbread man. Sam I am the gingerbread man is that guy now, according to Griffin. As I also believe Sam I am the gingerbread man is that guy because you hit benchmarks in your career. Before I go into what this game meant to him and what it did for the Seattle Seahawks, what it has done for the NFL has proven that quarterbacks, specifically quarterbacks, and there's one every 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 years that can flip a switch on day one. Just 1 or 2. Quarterbacks, quality quarterbacks need to be nurtured. You can't put somebody out there right out of college and say, this guy is going to be our face of the franchise, a 22, 23-year-old like Sam Darnold was coming out of USC to the New York.
With one year at USC. He had 1 year at USC, and then you throw him in the league, and then you expected him to be this guy.
Exactly. So you need to bring him along, right? He's not the only one. Baker Mayfield will be another example. We see the evolution of Bryce Young here in year 3 going into year 4, right? So let's not put all of that pressure on these young quarterbacks coming out of college. That's why some of them are choosing to stay a 5th and a 6th and a 7th and an 8th year before they head on. Now, what Sam Darnold did in this particular game, Griff, I tell you, it was exercise some demons, but let us not continue to disrespect this young man, right? Like Birdman famously once said, put some respect on my name. He has won 30 games in the past 2 years. How many quarterbacks have done that in the past 2 years? Oh, none. How many quarterbacks have done that in the past 20 years? Oh, none. The quarterback is good. He fits in two different systems, so he is adaptable. He's able to learn quickly. He continues to provide results. It was just that one matchup that came up to bite him twice in the past 2 years, right? When it really counted. And now he had to prove it to reclaim what he already knew, what his family already knew, and obviously what the 12th man now knows is that Sam I Am, the gingerbread man, is going to possibly bring Seattle their second Super Bowl title to the Emerald City, but we shall see. Rick, before we touch on the Super Bowl, bruh, I have many people that I know that are New England Patriots fans. I am not a New England Patriots fan. I'm not talking about what they are going to do in the Super Bowl. This is completely separate. The Patriots in the 21st century has been that standard bearer, right? Led by Bill Belichick, had produced 6 Super Bowl titles. Number 1 in coaching history. Super Bowl wins. Number 1 in coaching history. You see where I'm going with this, right? For him not to make the Hall of Fame as a ballot completely delegitimizes the entire process.
It's got to be personal, bro.
We know it's personal, right? Deflategate, Watergate, Instigate, Flipgate, any gate that you want to point toward him. 6 Super Bowl titles, 9 appearances in 20 years. That's as the head coach. He won a Super Bowl as an assistant coach. Bruh, this entire process is now broken, just like the U.S. election system.
Yeah.
Man, that's disrespectful. You need to have a Hall of Fame induction ceremony, or you need to retroactively go back and fix what the heck you messed up and did.
Yeah. So when I saw that, man, I was like, wow. Some of these guys, the only reason why they got a gold jacket is because they won the Super Bowl. They didn't do that much, but they won the Super Bowl, and and here it is, this guy doing the things that he done over his career, and we ain't even gonna talk about how he turned the Cleveland Brown team around right before it moved
in the mid-90s.
So, man,
with your guy, Nick Saban.
With Nick Saban.
Yeah.
So hey, so you right, man. I'm lost for words with this one, bro. Troy, I would say this. You are absolutely right. He wouldn't have been able to do what he did. But I say that with every quarterback. You need to be able to run the ball for your quarterback to do what they do. If you become one-dimensional, it's easy for teams to tie in on that quarterback. Yes, Kenneth Walker had some early game success, but on that back half of the game, the Rams made adjustments. Kenneth Walker wasn't as effective in the second half of the game as he was in the first half.
Right, the passing game
was picking them jokers apart.
Right, the passing game won that game.
And you know what really made me feel good? Well, maybe, man, to see Cooper Kupp eat. You know what I'm saying? You got rid of me. You got this new shiny object with Puka Nakua, and we could have made music together. But you know what you did? You let me go, and you sent me and he chopped them jokers up.
He ate them up. He ate them up. Now, whether or not the money couldn't fit, right? Because you got Puka, who was on a rookie deal, but you got $30+ million Devontae Adams that you got to pay. Cooper Kupp earned the same consideration.
He got you your first Super Bowl, though.
Exactly. And he's a triple crown winner, so he earned the same level of consideration. They pushed him out. You know, he was a smaller guy, but he got his leg back. You know what I mean? He got that leg back. He gonna get 2. before y'all get one, or before y'all get another one. Now, speaking of Cooper Cup and whether or not he can be a difference maker in Super Bowl 60, ladies and gentlemen, that happens on February the 8th, 2026 in Santa Clara, California at the home of the 49ers, who unfortunately will be in the bleachers with everybody else. They will not be on the field unless they are holding the flags or holding the yardsticks, and I don't think they plan on doing that. So it's going to be between the AFC champs, the 11th time, Griff. I was surprised when I actually verified this is the 11th appearance for the New England Patriots, but we just talked about Belichick's record. So, of course, 11 appearances going for their 7th Super Bowl title, taking on the Seattle Seahawks, who are the early favorite, 4.5 points. Going for their 2nd, should be 3rd. We're not going to talk about that beast mode play, but
Personal. That was personal. A phone call was made. They said, "Do not hand it," because if they hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch, he's the MVP. He's the MVP of the Super Bowl. He was the offense for that team that day. And with
yeah,
all the drama that he had that year, I'm just here so I don't get fined and all this other stuff. It was
yeah.
like, no, do not. You better not hand that ball off to him. He was the reason why they was on the 1 yard line.
More, hell yeah, Marshall's like, I'm just here. I don't get fined, boss. No, but for this game, a rematch of Super Bowl 49, if I remember correctly, back in 2015 between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. You have two very, very, very similar teams. Let's not get it confused. Just because Drake May and that offense couldn't mail the end zone last weekend, they are a team that averages just 28 points a game in 2025. That covers 20 plus games. Okay, so this is not a fluke. Regardless of whether or not they had a soft schedule, as Troy would like to point out, they still average 28 points a game, but they're going against the defense of 2025. We've talked about how good the Houston Texans defense is, and they are the number 1 defense in the league. But the Seattle Seahawks are a different level of toughness, a different level of aggressiveness, a different level of shut down outside corners who can hold their own in a one-on-one situation. Now, I have not been the biggest supporter of Drake, man. I openly admit that, Griff. But you point out there are plenty good weapons that the New England Patriots have on offense right now, right? Stephon Diggs making his first Super Bowl appearance. Henry, one of the better tight ends in the league. A dual-headed run game. A mobile quarterback who is Josh Allen-ish, maybe 2.0. So, as a Seattle defense who barely escaped, I don't care what nobody said, barely escaped last weekend against the Los Angeles Rams. I know they could be the second coming of the Legion of Boom, but how confident are you in those Seahawks to shut down a offense that brings 28 points a game to the table?
Hey Drew, let me tell you something. I'm so confident, man. I'm ready to give an arm and a leg. First of all, this defense is better than the Legion of Boom. I'll tell you why, and it's because of what you just said. The two guys, they cornerbacks, that secondary is actually better than the secondary that the Legion of Boom had. Yes, when you have, and I know there's some people gonna say, "Oh no, I don't know about that." Hey, let me
I
tell you
don't know
something,
about
man.
that, man. They had some hitters.
They had some hitters, but them hitters was up front. I'm just talking about that secondary. They got length in the secondary. Not only do they have speed in the secondary, they got length in the secondary.
Sherman was Smith.
Hey, you better go check these numbers. Sherman ain't got nothing on these two boys that's back there right now. You better go check. Now they had Eric Thomas or Ed Thomas or whatever. They had a great defense up front, man. That front four. And them linebackers was headhunters. I can tell you that right now. But I just think that's the difference. Now, granted, yeah, you could say that they badly made it out with the Rams or whatever. Them and the Rams been going back and forth, back and forth. Drake May, yeah, he been averaging. But I'm gonna tell you right now, he gonna be running for his life. What I done seen in the last two playoff games with the Patriots is the offense. I don't have no faith in it. The only reason why we sitting here right now and talking about the Patriots is because and I don't want to bring up old news, but CJ threw them daggone interceptions, man. That defense was giving Drake May the business. And then he had to go right again and play against Denver, who gave him the game. That defense was giving the bit. That offense, I mean, if Drake May got 200 yards in the last three games, I don't think he did. I don't think he got 200 yards in the last three games combined. The offense is sputtering over there. That defense is going to be, and then he playing against a much better offense. They ain't gonna be able. They don't have the type of offense that's gonna be able to just go, toe for toe. Lord forbid. We just talked about Sam Darnold. I hope he don't go back to his old ways and start giving the ball away. But I just don't see the Patriots having a chance in this game. Now, this is gonna be one of them Super Bowls for me. It's gonna be like when the Redskins played Denver. It's gonna be one of them blowout Super Bowls, man. I don't think it's gonna be. I'm just telling you. I'm just keeping it real. It's gonna be a blowout Super Bowl. We just watched the Super Bowl this past weekend between the Rams and the Seahawks.
Wow. Okay. You done created so much of a tidal wave. I can't even come back to combat that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull a Griff move. I'm gonna pull a Harrow move. I'm gonna put my conspiracy hat on and say, here is why the New England Patriots are gonna win the Super Bowl. I don't know. I won't say win the Super Bowl, but it's not going to be a San Francisco to the San Diego Chargers 55-10 Super Bowl way back when in 1995, or it's not going to be what the Bears did to the New England Patriots back in 1986 when they blew them out. It's not going to be one of those blowout Super Bowls. I don't think so, right? You talk about how dominant the Seattle defense is, and yes, sir, they are. Ooh, yes, sir, they are. And the Rams, that's that one team that you're always going to have those matchup issues with because, one, they match up very well against you. Two, they're a division rival, so they know you very well. And three, they are talented as all get out, probably a little bit more talented than you are. Oh, and we did not talk about it, but coaching did make a difference in the Rams-Seahawks game. McDonald out-coached McVay just a little bit, and it did come back to bite him in the end. But the New England Patriots
don't want to kick field goals, man.
I'm telling you,
that he kicked the field goal. He would have been down by 1 point, and then on that last drive, all he would have needed was a field goal instead of a touchdown. But you know what? We got to keep on going for it on fourth down,
bruh.
Why even pay somebody to be a field goal kicker? I mean, does the kicks got to be at least 60 yards now for jokers to kick? I don't know. Just explain that to me.
Before we move on to coaching, perfect segue into the topic. Coaching in the regular season, it is the opportunity for you to not only build that camaraderie with your team, continue to mature your team, continue to build your team, and continue to take the necessary chances that you need to take to win the games that you need to win in the moment. But, sir, we all know, just Griff and I, we ain't played it down in the NFL, but we're probably a little bit more knowledgeable than how y'all are coming off. We know when we transition from December to January and we wanted the lucky 14 to continue to play playoff football, like my coach once said, Coach Morrison, playoffs? Yes, playoff football. When the opportunity presents itself, Griff, what we supposed to do?
Take the points.
Take the points, Coach.
Drew, could you share with the listening audience what your coach once said?
Yeah.
Could you please share that with the listening audience?
You said earlier you wasn't gonna bring up old stuff.
I would like for you to share that, man.
But since you did, when Sean Payton, my former coach of the New Orleans Football Saints, departed from the Saints, took that year off, went into broadcasting. And then subsequently, right before he took the Denver Broncos job, was providing commentary on how coaches should approach coaching playoff football. You got a lot of experience. You're obviously an expert on the topic. So let us get your sentiments, Coach Sean. Well, it is very good to be aggressive. Heck, I'm an aggressive coach, and I'm paraphrasing here, Griff. He said, I'm an aggressive type of coach, right? So when the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to be aggressive and take those necessary chances. What do I mean? Well, sometimes instead of kicking a field goal from the red zone, I may go for it on fourth down during the regular season. But when we transition to playoff football, ladies and gentlemen, as a coach, I know that when points are available, you have to make sure that you make the best decision for your team. And 99% of the time, that is taking the points. Griff, why didn't our coach take points in this game when you were right there on the doorstep in a blizzard? No, I'm going to go with the backup quarterback on 4th and 1 and decide to throw it in the snow.
It's obvious he forgot his sound bite, his advice. You know, we good at giving advice sometimes. We just don't listen to our advice sometimes.
Man, hey, as the saying goes, it sounds good coming out my mouth, but when it got to go back into my ears, I don't want to hear that ish.
He got caught up in the moment, man. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He got caught
Hey,
up.
but again, Denver had a great season, and if not for some bad, I won't say bad, some ill-advised coaching decisions in the moment, y'all would have been in the Super Bowl, even with Jared Stidham at your starter. Now, that would have led to a blowout.
This is what we say coaching lose game, because people always, well, the coach ain't out there on the field. Coach don't have to be out there on the field to mess the game up sometimes. And in that one, hey, they ain't just going for the kicker sitting on the sideline, that's a coach's decision. That ain't a player's decision to sit on the sideline. That's a coach's decision. And so this is what coaching loses games.
Yeah. So you get what you pay for. All right, man. And we talked about Sean Payton's decision and coaching decision. Let's go into some coaching discussions. We still got the 2025 season coaching carousel happening. We started off with 10 coaches available, 10 openings available with many different people vying for those 10 positions. Well, we're now down to the final 3 after 2 coaches in the past since Friday have been hired for respective teams. Nobody's surprised. Both you and I talked about Buffalo Bills really considering and whether or not they should hire Joe Brady based on the relationship and the success he's had with Josh Allen, the history he brings to the table, that 2019 natty you brought to LSU, baby. Way to go, Joe Brady. So I'm happy for you, first and foremost, on becoming the head coach of the Bills Mafia. Can Joe Brady elevate that team based on his decision-making inside the building, change coaching approach, change the coaching style, especially on the defense, get different defensive players? Can I be a little bit more aggressive in the offense? Can I open it up? Can I get Josh more receivers? Do I pull Josh back more on the run game? Rick, good hire. Obviously, you approve.
I think. I mean, again, he's been there for a while. Him and Josh got a great relationship. I don't think he's gonna be pulling Josh back. What I think he's gonna really need to do is get Josh some other targets. I mean, the offense is pretty productive. He gonna really definitely have to figure out what he's gonna do on the defensive side of the ball. Secondary was great, but up front they can't stop the run. So that's what the adjustments on this team is. They don't have to make that many changes because he's already familiar with the system, which is good for Josh. He ain't got to try to figure out a new coaching strategy. He's been with this guy for a while. I don't know if I would want to play with the Bills after the interview with the owner, though.
Yo,
that interview was awful, man.
It was terrible. But this is what I love to do, man. Anytime, you know me, as much as I expect from you, anytime I get to defend a player from the great state of Louisiana, I shall do so. And Keon Coleman, being from Opelousas, right up the street from where I grew up at.
Right? From Opelousas. my wife is from Eunice, so I passed that. I see.
Okay, see, Griff, you already know, right down there in St. Landry Parish. Keon Coleman was just ceremoniously undressed by the team owner in the exit interviews at the end of the season, where he was blaming everybody but the chosen one, Josh, who turned the ball over 4 times. You said he needs to get more help. You had the number 1 rusher in the National Football League. You're giving the ball to. Keon Coleman is 6'3", 6'4", 230. He is 23, 24. He's going to continue to get better. Yeah. Hopefully, this offseason, you see that huge leap. Wasn't he a rookie last year? So give the kid a break. He's still operating on his rookie deal. He's going to have George Pickens type season next year. Watch.
The owner said he didn't want him. He said the only reason why they got him is because McDermott wanted him. McDermott forced the GM to get him. I said, wow.
Joe Brady recognizes talent more than the owner. All right. Wow. They've turned the keys to the car to Joe Brady, which means they trust what they've seen him do. They understand the approach that he is going to take, and they believe, obviously, that he'll be able to take Josh and the entire Bills Mafia family to the Super Bowl and finally get one, since that's the worst team when it comes to Super Bowl history and experiences in the National Football League, the Buffalo Bills. Now, good hire. Good for him. Good for the team. The Pittsburgh Steelers, you called it on Friday, hired the hometown guy in Mike McCarthy. He's 60 years old, right?
Somewhere. He in 62, I think.
Does he have 10 years in him, or is he a bridge coach? Is this a good hire for the Steelers? What do they do next year at quarterback? Does Aaron Rodgers come back now that the coach that he got his Super Bowl with and 2 MVPs with is back?
Yeah, Mike McCarthy is 62, man. I think that, with his experience and being a hometown guy, I don't think that they looking to get 10 years out of Mike McCarthy, to be honest. I think it's just till they figure out what it is they want to do in Pittsburgh. Mike McCarthy say he's calling all the offensive plays like he did in Dallas. Pittsburgh got to figure out what their future is going to be. Because next year is not a win all. I hope they ain't expecting that. Aaron Rodgers can come back all he wants to, but what does the future look like with Pittsburgh? Who is going to be that guy that take them to the next level? Will it be Will Howard that's sitting over there? Or will they go get somebody like Malik Willis? Because Malik Willis is going to be one of those guys that's probably going to get him a spot based off how he played with Green Bay during the time that Love was hurt. But they need to find their future, man. And,
the real question I would have is, how much pull does Mike McCarthy have? Does he bring experience? Of course. Is he one of the better coaches in the National Football League? Yes, he is. So I'm not worried about whether or not he's going to be successful. I'm worried about how much influence does he have in the front office, right? Because since Ben Roethlisberger, they've drafted quarterback trash after quarterback trash after quarterback trash. And I know that what Mike Tomlin's saying, hey, let me go get this quarterback trash over here, because I know he's trash. He's been trash in college. His team record says he's trash. Why would I draft him in the first round? So how much influence does Mike McCarthy have, like Bill Parcells once said, to go buy the groceries?
You bring up a good point, man.
Am I going to have to deal with what you give me?
I think you bring up a good point, man, because everybody, a lot of the Steelers fans is based on this Mike McCarthy hire based off of his performance with the Cowboys. But his problem with the Cowboys was the head shed. His problem could be the exact same thing with the Steelers.
With the Rooney family, right?
Yeah. This could be the thing that hurt them, man.
We'll see, and we'll see what they do in the draft, because
Malik Willis will be a great. I could see him as when the black and gold.
Didn't he already play for the Steelers?
I think he played with Green Bay and he played with the Titans, with Tennessee Titans.
Didn't he play with the Ravens too?
I don't think he played with the Raiders.
All right.
I mean, he ain't.
I guess I'm confusing him with Tyler Huntley. All right, so the next one. Speaking of the AFC North, Cleveland. You know, I was kind of scratching my head, and the usual names that we kind of thought about that were probably be hired already, not hired. I had completely forgotten about Byron Leftwich, the old OC for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and quarterback that used to be for the Steelers, among other teams.
That was the offensive coordinator for Tom Brady when he won that Super Bowl.
Down there in Tampa Bay. He would be the perfect one to come in and nurture those two quarterbacks that you have sitting right here in your locker room, right? You spent a whole lot of time and effort drafting two quarterbacks in 2025 draft. I know that's not what you're going to do in 2026, especially since you're still paying Deshaun Watson $200 million. What kind of coach, especially philosophy-wise, should Cleveland be trying to get at instead of having to take tests from what
I'm going to tell you right now, you just brought up a name that I thought about earlier, and nobody's been talking about that guy, man. And Brian Leftwich will be the guy. But Cleveland right now, they done narrowed it down as right before I got on here to three people. Jim Schwartz, their defensive coordinator, your boy Todd Monken, and then they got the Rams pass game coordinator, Nate. I can't say his last name, Shellerhas or something like that. But those are the three that they basically gonna probably look at, because with the Joe Brady hire, it kind of like hurt because that was one of the people that they wanted. But Jim Schwartz is probably the one that they're gonna lean on because he already in the program. But Leftwich would be a great guy to come there.
Jim Schwartz, I could possibly understand because he's right there in house, but that doesn't usually work.
Defense, he's the defensive guy, and then he can go get a Leftwich or something like that, be his OC. But Leftwich needs to be somebody head coach.
That don't usually work for me, right? You taking in house. If I'm an offensive team or I want to have an offensive approach and be offensive dominant, I need to have an offensive type of head coach. It works. It works. It works. When you switch it up and put the defensive guy as the head coach, it don't usually work that well. If I'm Myles Garrett, depending on who this hire is, I'm trying to get the hell out of Denver or out of Cleveland because it seems like talent gets wasted up in Cleveland. Their head coaching hire, the names that Todd Monken,
that's your guy.
and then a passing coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams. Man.
Hey, man, it's not a sexy situation, man. A lot of people don't. I mean, like Troy just asked, who's the worst, the Raiders situation or the Cleveland situation?
Cleveland.
I would still say Cleveland because, like you said, that's what people go to die at.
It's not even close. It's not even close. Yeah. Cleveland, their head coaching hire is the one that I'm most interested in.
Hey, Troy, I already said that Washington. That was one of my picks to be the head coach. Troy said, "What about Washington's OC?" Kingsbury again. This guy's known for teaching quarterbacks. I thought he'll be a good look, but I don't see his name nowhere. The name that can't nobody really touch right now is the OC for Seattle. That's the name, but I don't see him going to none of those three teams.
Hey, no. I mean, the head coaching job is prestigious, man. So no matter the location,
Hey, sometimes I'll be like Blind Forrest, man. Look, I continue to be. I'll wait till the next rotation. I ain't going to Cleveland.
Man, that begs the question. Cleveland, it has possibilities, bro, because the talent is in the building. Trust me. That defense is a top 10 defense every year. Every year they're 3-13. I don't know why, but every year they have a top 10 defense. That job, even when supposedly what Stefanski was this offensive guru, couldn't get right, that team has possibilities, bro. I'm telling you. It's like untapped oil. It's just sitting there. And Shadur is the guy to pop it open. He
You
needs
talking
the
about
right
that Pro Bowl? You talking about that Pro Bowl that Shadur? Shadur made the Pro Bowl, baby.
bro.
Oh, man. I'm telling
Ain't
you,
mad
man.
at your nephew.
Dion made that phone call, baby. He said Drake May wasn't
Hey,
going.
and it's always going to be on your career stats. You are a rookie Pro Bowler. That's what I'm talking
Drake
about.
May ain't playing, man. Drake May is in the Super Bowl, man. So they had to replace him with somebody, man. So
Got a replacement with somebody. And
no
Shadur
other AFC quarterbacks.
well enough to be a Pro Bowler, but not be considered for Rookie of the Year in any way.
Go figure, man. Ain't that something?
I know. All right, now speaking of Troy's Raiders, the Raiders, what they gonna do, bro? Who can Tom Brady ignore? I would believe Tom Brady would have a little bit of pull to say, "Hey, coach, coming back to the Raiders. Who is the guy for the Raiders, Griff?"
And they feelings was hurt, man, because old boy, your boy that's staying with the Bills is who they wanted. And
Joe Brady.
they done brought Dabo back twice, man. So right now, what I saw was, if Dabo don't get signed by the Raiders, then he's gonna go be the OC for the Tennessee Titans. That's gonna look nice right there with them two former head coaches. As one has been the head coach and with Saleh and Dabo, but Dabo was brought back for a third interview, and then you got Davis Webb, which is the demo quarterback coach. So those are the two names that they got out there on the radar screen right now. But Dabo, and they already said if Dabo don't get selected by the Raiders, he's gonna be the OC for the Tennessee Titans. They already confirmed that.
Okay. Now Troy said they wanted the OC for the Seattle Seahawks.
Won't happen.
What you need to do is back up off of my guy Tyler Shuck. He did not throw up. Troy, what kind of team are the Raiders? In all seriousness, are you a defensive led team or are you an offensive led team? What type of approach has the money leaned to on either side of the ball? That's the type of coach that the Raiders need. If they need an offensive guru, they need to go after an offensive-minded coach, whether or not he's a big name offensive coordinator, current head coach, former head coach, doesn't matter. If they lean where the money leans on the defensive side of the ball because of Crosby's aggressiveness, and we want to make sure we have a run-stop defense that can attack the quarterback, then we need to go after a defensive type coach. I don't know who that coach is going to be. I don't know why McDermott's name is not being mentioned for this job or the Cleveland job or for the Cardinals job. It's like his name done fell off since he got fired just last week. Is he taking the year off like Coach Tomlin? He already done put it out there. I'm good, y'all. I'm going to chillax for a year, do the booth, do the network, go fishing, do what I want. It don't matter. But he would be one of those names that just pops off. Flores' name done dropped off. Has he decided to say, I'm good in Minnesota like Griff said? No, I ain't going to Cleveland, bro. They done turned the Cleveland Browns down. The dog pound ain't good enough for somebody to go over there and make it happen. It's too much talent in the building, man. I don't understand it. But who's the guy for the Raiders? I don't know. They need to make sure that whoever they pick is committed to one side of that ball to where he can control it and turn the other side over to a legitimate coordinator and have that immediate trust. Then you will see the Raiders be competitive in the AFC West. Until then, y'all just going to be, man, it's good to go out to Las Vegas. But other than that, the Raiders are, way back in the 80s with Kenny Stabler and Marcus Allers and then Jim Plunkett and them. Not what you're going to see in 2026 and beyond. Y'all going to always be in the top 5 in the draft. It depends on this selection.
Cold-blooded. But you know, it sounds like Rick James, man. What did the five fingers say to the face?
That's what you can count on for the Raiders, baby. We are top 5 draft pick.
1, 2,
Oh.
3, 4, 5. Oh, man, cold blooded boy. You
Oh
cold
my
blooded.
goodness,
Go to them Cardinals, man. Leave Troy team alone, man. You go. Don't do my
Yeah,
boy.
yeah, yeah. The Arizona Cardinals, man, they are so perplexing because you don't understand the approach that they take. You had Cliff Kingsbury there several years ago. We know his approach: fun, run, and gun. We like to throw the ball. And the past couple of years, I don't understand why then we're not successful at all.
They didn't have the right quarterback.
The division was just better than they were, but they were better than what their record said they were, at least to me.
To me, they just didn't have the right quarterback. But that head coach just didn't have the right quarterback. I'm sorry. I mean, I know it's some people that believe in that.
What do they do?
Hey, well, like they didn't narrow it down. They got 4 names that they're looking at right now. It's Raheem Morris, Anthony Weaver, Mike LaFleur, and Anthony Campanelli. So, but I think this would be a great landing spot for Raheem Morris, man. I want to see him land back on his feet. His players didn't want to see him leave in Atlanta, and I would love to see him go to the Cardinals and turn that program around. The Falcons, man, I don't think the Falcons gonna change any with their selection by getting rid of Raheem Morris and bringing Stefanski in there. So I want to see Raheem Morris cook with the Cardinals.
Yeah, that would be the perfect fit. Not saying that that's going to happen. Again, it depends on approach. You have too much money that's tied to Tyler or Kyler Murray, right? You got dead money. I believe it's like almost $100 million in dead money, kind of like what you have with Russell Wilson. And his contract, Russ Wilson in Denver, and Kyler Murray's contract is too inflated to say that people are going to say, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and trade him for a second, third round pick or a first round pick. What they gonna do, man? It's tough.
They're gonna stay with Bristol. I mean, Kobe Brissett gonna be their starting quarterback, and they just gonna have a high paid backup quarterback over
there. Yeah, with my cousin, your cousin, our favorite cousin, Kirk Cousin. But we shall see. I'm not standing on pins and needles to see when these coaching vacancies get filled. They'll get filled, get the notification, I'll be like, interesting pick. I wonder how he's going to do in his very first year. Is he going to be another 3-13, 3-14 team, or is he going to be what the New England Patriots did, go from 4-13 to 14-3? Some fugaziness there. I'm telling you, you ain't that damn good. But I'm going to just leave that alone. Now, individual honors, Griff. We talked about the NFL MVP last year, the offensive and the defensive player of the year last week. Now I want to focus on the rookies and the comeback kids and the coaches for this discussion during this segment right here. The rookie of the year, the offensive rookie of the year is very interesting, right? Because individually, each one of these 5 players had some good success at certain times of the season, not throughout the season, where they hit those little heat pockets, right, where they were hot for about 3, 4, 5 weeks, where everything they were doing, it was highlight reel material, right? Where they were hitting those national reels every single week because they were making big plays, scoring multiple touchdowns, creating big plays, but it was only in spurts. Now, on each one of these individual awards, as a person who unofficially has a vote in the top 5, is your criteria individual stats individual stats plus impact on the team's success, and then individual stats plus impact plus team record. Did you make it to the playoffs? Or were you on a scrub team and you was just a baller on a scrub team? What kind of criteria do you put into your thought process? And this is a general question for the entire audience, and how y'all, select which one from 1 to 5, who goes where, and why you ultimately pick who is your offensive rookie of the year. Don't just blurt out the name. I want you to kind of give a little bit of context as to why this kid is the one for me in 2025. Who you got, Griff?
So,
John Gruden, where?
no, he was talking about coaching. I guess getting back in the league and coaching.
Where?
Back with the Raiders.
Where? Where?
Back with
The Raiders?
I guess that's what Troy wanted back with his squad, man.
Okay.
But I mean, for me, I look at all these players on the screen, and I have to say who had the most. And I like the criteria that you set as far as did their team make the playoff, stats, and the impact. The person to me that had the most impact for their team, it'll be a Booker for me. And the reason why he right out the gate, you talking about Mike Evans was gone, Godwin was gone. His numbers dropped off a little bit on the back end. Why? Because Evans and Godwin them came back. But that team wouldn't have made it as far as they did, competing for an opportunity to play in the playoffs if it wasn't for Ibuka. And then T-Mac would be my next guy. I mean, Jackson Dart, he was a shining object. He replaced Russ, and he was flashy. Shug, yeah, he came on the back end. I didn't see enough. I know that's your guy. I know you want to see him. But unfortunately, he didn't get enough. For me, he didn't get enough screen time for me to say he was the Rookie of the Year. And Trayvon Henderson was mixing. He was sharing carries with Stevenson. So he didn't. I mean, he had sparks too. But as far as an impact on a team, for me, it'll be a Booker.
I understand that, and I understand your logic as to why you ended up with Mbuka, but there's no way in the world that he would be the offensive rookie of the year.
Okay.
Because the numbers aren't really that much different from similar players at his position in his category. In this specific category, in this division, where he ultimately lost out to. So by that criteria alone that I said at the very beginning,
Yeah.
that
So you
knocks
got to go
the running. Now,
so you only got 2 players that have made it to the playoffs.
that 2 players that made it to the playoffs. Now, Henderson, you said it yourself. He shared the workload. It's not his fault. It's just the way that Mike Vrabel's offense is set up. And even though he made it to the category, he will be knocked out of the consideration. Yeah, you were 1,000% correct on Jackson Dart. Flash, bang, replacing Russ. Flash, bang, new kid on the block. Flash, bang, number 1 pick, the future. And then he gets hurt because of his aggressiveness. It is a lesson. When they tell you to do something, it is not just to hold you back. It is sometimes for your own good. And I understand what you said. That's just the way I play. I am the way I am. Understood. Your career is going to be cut short unless you make changes. Just a little bit of food for thought. Knocks him out. It only comes down to the receiver, T-Mac, and that young kid from New Orleans, Tyler Shuck, that you said didn't have enough screen time. Griff, I agree with you 1,000%. Not enough screen time. I'll be honest with you, Griff. I had to go look up his record this year. Today, I had to go look it up to verify why is he even in this discussion, to make sure it was worthy of me trying to defend him. He went 5-6. I was surprised he played 11 games. He started 11 games after the redhead kid went 0-6. I remember that. And then he closed out the rest of the season. But he went 5-6. won 5 or 4 in a row after his first L, and lost that last one against Atlanta on a last-second kick. So I can understand him being included in this category, and it's because of the team not making the playoffs in the very same division that the Carolina Panthers won. The Carolina Panthers had an impact by T-Mac, which was part of the big reason that Bryce Young had this huge leap in confidence, this huge leap in efficiency in 2025. So I will go with T-Mac from the Carolina Panthers as my rookie of the year, simply based off of that. But either one of these 5 young men are gonna who get selected would have earned it individually. Great rookie year. Hopefully, your continued success throughout your career. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, it's a toss-up, right? Because each one of these 5 right here had their moments. It is whether you look with the big names, say somebody like Abdul Carter, or somebody that had an impact on a Super Bowl team, right? Is are we going with the flash, or are we going with consistency as a rookie, having an impact, not only having an impact on a successful team, but being relied upon at a key position to make a difference? What is your criteria for the defensive?
Yeah, man. Based off your criteria, only one fit. So, but for me to be a rookie and to come into the game, come into the league and get double digits in sacks, that speak volumes. So James Pierce would be my guy. I know a lot of people that even slept on him, but Atlanta had an awesome defense, man. The offense just couldn't figure out some stuff with the defense, and James Pierce is that guy. I see Troy put the safety from Seattle, and again, I told you that secondary in Seattle is a beast, and their team is the only one up on the screen that's in the playoffs. But we talking about rookies, and normally rookies do go to some bad teams, and hence the reason why they're not in the playoffs. But if you look at the numbers, James Pierce would be that guy for me.
Yeah, it comes down to Emu and James Pierce. And James Pierce's impact on the Atlanta Falcons was something that was reliable, and it was somewhat surprising as to the amount of success that he was able to obtain in 2025. And it kind of opens up your defensive approach in 2026, whatever approach Stefanski takes, depending on who the defensive coordinator is down there in Atlanta, and what kind of talent you can surround this young man with, right? Whether or not you're going to do the same thing that Dallas tried to do once they figured out that Michael Parsons was that guy. What kind of approach are we going to take on defense? Atlanta can kind of resemble that next year based off of him. But I'm going to have to go with safety in Seattle, not only because of where Seattle is today, but what Seattle's defense has been all year. And he is an integral part in that defense. Being the safety, yeah, you're the free man and you're doing a lot of the scanning, and your area of responsibility is much larger than the rest. And for you to be able to do that as a rookie on one of the top 2 defenses in the National Football League overall, the number 1 scoring defense in the National Football League, hands down the rookie of the year. I got it, my man. Pierce Jr., 10 plus sacks, but this the rookie of the year. Now, coach of the year, bro. This is a discussion I've been looking forward to have, because each one of these coaches did a phenomenal job. Each one of these coaches is worthy of being not only considered and on this list, but each one of these coaches have earned the title as Coach of the Year. So the 4 that don't get named, they are still Coach of the Year material. They just don't have the title, the label, the little trophy that goes along with it. And I'm pretty sure the pay raise that comes along with it, depending on your contract and how it's made up, and or how your next contract will be negotiated because you have that title. Griff, this is a tough one, right? Because I can make the argument for each one, but who would be your Coach of the Year and why?
It's hard, and let me just put this out there for people that don't know. Unlike college football, these awards are already decided at the end. The ballots have to be in at the end of week 18. So the playoffs and the Super Bowl don't even affect this voting.
Mhm.
So let me just put that out there. Unlike college football, jokers look at it all the way up until to the week of the championship, almost not the championship game, but the last conference games or whatever, and they pick.
The weekend.
Yeah, the weekend prior to the Heisman, man, it's crazy. But for
Yeah.
me, man, when you look at these, man, all these coaches are worthy and it's hard. But man, I got it. Mike Vrabel is in the Super Bowl. I got it. McDonald's in the Super Bowl. They turn their programs around. But to have what Kyle Shanahan had to deal with this year and to take his team as far as he did, that's coaching, bro, for me. I know some people might think differently and don't like him. I'm taking feelings and stuff out of it to carry that team where most people counted that team out because of all of the injuries and stuff that they had. To be able to get his team to the point that he did, for me, it's Shanahan, bro.
Ooh, man, that's a good argument, and I understand that. And when I hear that argument, it immediately puts me in the frame of mind of it. It takes me back 10 to 15 years, and you substitute Mike Shanahan for Bill Belichick. You substitute the injuries that Mike Shanahan has dealt with and the limited available key playmakers at the disposal of the coaching this year as compared to the limited amount of receivers that Tom Brady may have had or may not have had and the type of offense that Tom Brady may have run or may not have run on whether or not it was a defensive-led team. And you dismiss it back then, but then you want to use it as he did a hell of a job. Man, Kyle Shanahan been in the NFL longer than you and I have been drawing breath. He is an excellent coach. Nobody expects him to do anything less. And let us not forget he had CMC on a healthy CMC on his offense all year.
Okay.
So he was not limited because that young man is up for the NFL MVP. That young man is up for the Offensive Player of the Year.
That's coaching.
That's not coaching. That's talent.
Because you got some coaches that got outstanding players that don't know how to use them. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I understand your argument. That's your argument. For my consideration, Kyle Shanahan, because of his experience, I understand they've dealt with a lot of injuries, but I expect you to go above and beyond because you are that guy. At least you have been proven to be that guy until you got in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. Then you forget that you that guy for some reason. So he was not really a consideration. Phenomenal job, though. Phenomenal job. So I dismiss him. Mike Vrabel, I'll come back to him. Mike McDonald, you got too much talent. You were an excellent defensive coordinator years ago, way back in Baltimore, Ravens heyday. So I knew you were good then. And the success that you had last year with my guy, your guy, Griff's former guy, Gino, and then come right back and do it again with Sam Darnold in year one, I knew you were a good coach. And Seattle is super talented on defense. So you didn't do a phenomenal job. The team was supposed to be that good. So you weren't considered for me. Where it's really considered for me is Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson. Mike Vrabel, or New England 14-3. That is nothing to sneeze at, man. You go from 4-13 to 14-3 in the blink of an eye. And oh, by the way, during that blink, you get a brand new head coach. And oh, by the way, during that blink, this is your second year as a starting quarterback.
With an easy schedule. You
Bro,
could,
I done played football for a long time.
with an easy
And
schedule.
you get better year to year. But I don't know. So for that reason, I Mike Vrabel got an asterisk by him. To me, it came down to Lincoln and Ben Johnson.
Okay.
Both of these two teams sucked last year.
Yeah.
Both of these two teams have number one overall draft picks at quarterback. Both of these two teams have tied a whole boatload of money to these number one overall quarterbacks. Both of these two teams have rookie head coaches, great offensive minds. Both of these two teams went into a situation where, both of the head coaches went into this situation where the talent was available. You had the victuals, so to speak, at your disposal. Now you're on a cooking show. You have to produce an edible delicacy. And both of them did that in tough. Was the AFC South tough? No. NFC North definitely was. And what Chicago did in the NFC North, going from worst to first, that's the reason they are the.
I got you.
Ben Johnson is the head coach of the year for me.
I got you. I mean, hey, you and Troy, y'all linked up together. Troy said just because I said Shanahan, he going with Ben Johnson. So, hey, you know what happened when you go with Troy? You can't go wrong, man. That's Nico.
Can't go wrong. All right, now say the best for last, ladies and gentlemen. I've been looking forward to have this conversation. The variety of criteria of what it takes to be considered for the comeback player of the year. It doesn't necessarily mean that you had injury. It could be mean that, hey, last year was just a garbage year where I played 16 games and I accumulated 173 rushing yards. This year, I went from 173 to 1,973. One hell of a comeback, even though there was no injury there. Or it could be that I suffered an injury or my impact is different from year to year, right? This category is wide open to many different storylines, many different reasons. Griff, we are down to the final five, and each one of these have a different story, a different reason why they're being considered. Whether or not I'm coming back from a season-ending injury from 2024, rehabilitated, got stronger, came back better. Or I had a trash year in 2024. I had some issues. I got suspended, or I was, doing other things in my life. I had poor coaching. I had poor leadership or management up top where my career was tanking, or I didn't have an offensive line. I got hurt. The backfield got hurt. Somebody got hurt. Now I have a new head coach. Now I'm able to do what I do. Or I'm a wily old veteran, been in the league 10 years. And my season ended because of injury. And I come back bigger, better, stronger, and lead an offense to the top. What is your criteria? And set emotions aside. I know it's emotionally, we're both going to go from the guy from Mass or Northeast Louisiana, the Monroe area, right? And Dakota Wayne Prescott, and give us a reason why. But legitimately, looking at everybody else, what would be your understanding as to why this person should be considered and then ultimately selected as comeback player of the year?
Man, Drew, you hurt my feelings, man. It's like you automatically assumed that I was gonna get emotional here, man. My feelings is well. Let me stop because I just read the book called Four Agreements, and one of the agreements is don't take stuff personal. Oftentimes, when people say stuff about you, they are trying to transfer their negative energy onto you. So I'm okay. Look, man, but and you gonna be surprised when I tell you who I select. Believe it or not. I think, man, coming back from an injury like many of these guys come back from, and to be able to come out and perform the way they perform is a hands down. Because a lot of people don't come back from a hamstring injury or a foot injury. I mean, or calf. CMC was dealing with that all last year with them. But to look at these guys that's on the screen right now, I'm just gonna be honest. They only come down to two players for me, and it comes down to CMC and Dak. Man, Dak by far had the best season of his career. And if he only had a defense on the other side of the ball, we might be talking about that team. But Dak, hands down, was one of the top performers. But believe it or not, man, I'm giving it to CMC because of I see CMC taking a couple of pieces of hardware home this year. He gonna get the offensive player of the year, and he gonna get the comeback player of the year, and it's because of how vital he was and how much that offense ran through CMC this year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Dak is that guy, but Dak numbers is still dependent upon what CeeDee Lamb and what Pickens do. CMC was everything. And many of the balls that he got was, straight handoffs or little screen plays, and then he made the offense go. So believe it or not, man, I know you thought I was gonna pick Dakota Prescott, but I got CMC getting this award.
I definitely understand your reasoning, your justification, and your final two. Each one has a great storyline, starting with Stefan and the turbulent exit he had from Houston, the bouncing around here he's had over the past few 5, 6, 7 years, going from Minnesota to Buffalo to Houston now to New England. And being able to have the success on the field with the quarterback that is throwing him the ball in real time, it just doesn't work out. It doesn't work out long term, right? And people had started to label him as being overrated, no need for the headache, blah 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 blah. But this year, perfect situation. The team got to where it is by partly because of his success. So I understand his justification for being there in the final five, just not to where he needs to be. Aiden Hutchinson coming back from injury, a major injury where it requires surgery, a lot of rehabilitation. Both you and I have gone through ACL replacement or repair and know how long it takes to go through that process and to be back not only in playing shape in less than a year, but be successful at it and be an integral part of a team's success. Same criteria that I had earlier for the other categories. Your team got to make it to the playoffs, man. Your team didn't make the playoffs, so you out the door. Trevor Lawrence, some of that was self-inflicted. I mean, you've been underperforming for years. I got it. You've dealt with some injury over the past year, have had some garbage tutelage over the past several years, and now it seems to be that you found your groove. You're getting ready to transition from phase to the turbulent phase to the smooth altitude phase of your career. You're not really having an impact, even though your team had a major turnaround this year. You wouldn't make the final two. It is between Dakota Wayne Prescott and Christian McCaffrey for me as well. Now, Dakota Wayne Prescott, bro, season-ending leg injury, calf injury last year, required surgery, went through the rehab process. But like you said, had the best year of his career in year 10. And we forget he's had a broken leg before. So for him to be able to do that,
It was hamstring, man. I mean, me
okay.
hamstring, man. You know, hey,
And bro, hammy, yeah. And I got it. You know, you had an additional weapon in George Pickens and a very solid CD Lamb on the opposite side, and one of the top offenses in the league historically over the past several years. But to do it at the top notch this year is show worthy of being considered. But again, your team didn't make the playoffs, man. Y'all were done with by Thanksgiving. It is CMC, and he is going to take multiple awards this year home with him. Multiple being more than one. And he is worthy, right? Because a lot of the offense was contingent on his legs, his quickness, his agility, his escapability, his blocking, his receiving, his quarterbacking at times, his passing at times, right? And they were thankfully healthy enough around him to make sure that he stayed healthy. And I got it. Everybody else had a great year. They all have justifiable arguments to be in this category, but it is CMC. He should be the offensive or play of the year. He should be the MVP of the year, but he's most likely going to be the offensive player of the year. And like Griff said, the comeback player of the year. So your guy gets second, close but no cigar once again. But, you know, he's used to that being a Cowboys. Griff, phenomenal show, my man. Trevor should.
he said Trevor should get it for surviving Urban Myers, man. That's gonna be a documentary on Netflix or whatever. We're gonna have a 30 for 30 for that.
Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Nope. That was 1 year.
Oh man! And it
1
wasn't
year.
and it wasn't
That was one. Urban Meyer did some things right. He might have jacked up Trevor Lawrence's introduction to the NFL, but that was 1 year. Wasn't Pete Carroll fired after 1 year? So the rookie on the Las Vegas Raiders, Genty, is his rookie year a complete failure because of Pete Carroll only being there for 1 year? You get 1 year at a time. That's not Urban Meyer's fault that Trevor Lawrence did the things that he did on the field his rookie year. Urban Meyer owns a vast majority of that responsibility, but come on, man. It's not just Urban Meyer. Trevor Lawrence played a little bit of it. I ain't got no daggone love for him. Great show once again, Griff. Admin note before we transition into closing comments. Being that the NFC and the AFC have decided they want to make a decision as to who's going to be their representative in Super Bowl 60 on February the 8th in Santa Clara, California. There is no NFL game this weekend. So for you and I, there is no reason for us to come together on Friday night and have that discussion because of no upcoming game. So there shall be no show this upcoming Friday night for everyone's edification, just to give y'all a heads up. So when you're looking for us on Friday and we're not here, that is the reason why. No game this weekend. We shall be back here on Tuesday night. I was told, I say it wrong. It's not Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday.
That's cool, man. I've been on this earth almost 54 years, man. I never heard that, man. Thank you for enlightening me.
You got any comments for the audience?
Hey, man. Everybody need to be here on Tuesday. Hey, Tuesday is when we'll select who get the money for the Super Bowl for it.
Oh yeah.
So you have to be here. You have to be here to win it. We'll discuss what's happening, but you have to be at the show on Tuesday. If you want $200 to go, don't talk about it. Be about it. LLC will be providing the $200 Super Bowl party funds for the person that wins.
Super Bowl party.
Ashton Jeter had 1,300 yards, man. That's pretty good for a rookie season.
Exactly.
And his name went in the what you call it.
Because the Raiders only won 3 games, man. I mean, there is a limit. I was wondering why Shadur wasn't in it. You know what I'm saying? Because he made the Pro Bowl. He made the Pro Bowl.
He already got his hey man. Shadur got his Pro Bowl spot, man. You asking too much, man. Hey, Miles said we're gonna talk. Miles, I don't talk basketball, man. Basketball, you know what basketball is? Basketball is a sport where a whole bunch of people that tried to play football and it just didn't work.
Stop it. Don't be mad because you ain't athletically inclined to go from one sport to the other, or your passion that has not allowed you to do so.
Drew, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm speaking from experience. Football has made a lot of people basketball players. That's all I'm gonna say.
I understand, my man. I got you, but bro,
I seen some jokers. I seen some jokers come out there and they just suited up and after that first hit, they say, the hell with this coach. I'm going to shoot this rock.
I mean, I got it. For some people, it's business decisions and it's health decisions, but for others, it's because that passion is right there, man. And there is no athletically inclined person in the world than a professional basketball player, both on the female side and on the male side, because of the things that you literally have to do from the age of 10 now until your mid-30s, and do it on a world-class level. A football player can be 399 pounds, 6'7", and just take up space, time, and
say what you want. You can put whatever twist you want.
A basketball player who is at the top of his or her game is the top in the world, next to a world-class soccer player. Because
it's some jokers in the league just because they tall too. We done seen that. But it is what it is. I know you always have to put your twist on it. But I seen firsthand. I'm speaking from experience. I've seen a lot of jokers become very good basketball players after one summer football practice.
Hey, Grip, you know what? I'm BS with you not, man. I'm gonna go ahead and tell some of my medical history. I was playing junior college or junior high school football in the 7th grade, middle school football. Broke my arm. Next year, I started playing basketball.
Back when we was in school, man, it wasn't no such thing as no concussions. When nobody worried about hey, boy, go on, you just got your bell rung.
It make you try different things, see what else I can explore with myself, right? It just make you, close one that God got for you.
That's another perspective right there. You can say that they exploring. I'm saying that joker got hit. That joker was in that bull in the ring or whatever, and got hit them numbers. Why you think I got a gold tooth right now? I was in the bull in the ring. That joker called 3 numbers at the same time. One joker loosened my chin strap. Another joker set me up, man. And the last one, I bit knocked my mouthpiece. The second one knocked my mouthpiece out. The third one, I bit right into that face mask. I almost made a decision that day. I almost became a soccer player, or I was gonna play pickleball, but they ain't have pickleball back then.
It was tetherball. You remember tetherball? But that was just as dangerous. That was just as dangerous. No, you're right, man. Because we all got those football related stories that made us into who we are, right? A part of our decision making process, good, bad, and indifferent. And I wouldn't go back and change a thing, because I tell you. You learn a lot of lessons playing those games, both football, basketball, whatever the sport it is that you decide. It derails from what Miles asked originally, whether or not we would discuss basketball. I can talk basketball, man. I'm passionate about it.
I ain't gonna lie.
I can talk sports in general. You name the sport, we can have a conversation about it. And I can 99% of the time tell you that what's happening is happening based on the talent on the field or on the ice, on the court, or on the playing court.
You and Miles, You and Miles might need to link up and start a basketball show. Because I
Man,
ain't gonna sit up here and try to front. I don't look at basketball until the Sweet 16 and into the NBA Finals. That's the only time. Too many games to follow.
you're right. It is. And with the way that basketball is being bet on by the quarter or the half, it makes you wonder whether or not it is even worth watching, especially until it gets to those big time moments in college basketball, whether it's March Madness or the NBA playoffs and through the finals. So, again, great show, my man. Any issues that we. Hey, that 300-pounder can try to run me down, but you got to be able to catch me, like my man once said, bro. I got a little bit of wheels on me now, and I know they're making them bigger, badder, stronger, and faster. My half-century wheels got a little bit left of juice there for them. Just to let you know, Troy. All right, Griff, great show. Time to close it out.
Yes,
What you
sir.
got for everybody, man?
Yeah, man. Everybody stay safe, man. I know they supposed to be getting some more tough weather on the East Coast, man. Y'all be prepared. Be safe out there. And hey, I look forward to seeing everybody back here on next Tuesday, man. Thank y'all for always doing what y'all do, man. Always glad to see y'all. I'm glad Facebook didn't shut us down tonight because I love to see y'all on here chitting and chatting. And Miles, I hope you feeling better too, man. Miles just had a surgery on his knee. And some reconstructive surgery done to his knee. So I'm hoping he's feeling better. So, but that's all I got, Drew.
Awesome, thank you, good sir. As Griff mentioned, as one good sergeant major to another. Can I caveat off of that?
Go ahead.
Continue prayers to you, Miles, for a full and speedy recovery after you recover from your recent knee surgery. Griff, that reminds me, with our absence on Friday, we got 3 episodes left in this remaining season to close out our 2025 roundtable season. So, as we say at the end of every episode, thank you all to the Roundtable family for each and every commentary, view, like, share, and follow that you provide on each one of the platforms that you do to provide the continued support for the conversations that Griff and I have each and every Tuesday and Friday night. And as we always say, not enough. The invitation is always open for you to join the conversation, not only in the chat, but to join the conversation on screen, especially if it's about your team and if your team is doing well at a particular point in the season or has the game of their life, like a New England Patriot fans that might want to come onto the show prior to the Super Bowl, or a Tennessee, or not a Tennessee, but a Seattle Seahawks fan, diehard 12th man type of fan that wants to come on and defend why they believe their team is going to win. The invitation is open for you to join the conversation on next Friday night show prior to the Super Bowl. So just let myself, Griff, or our illustrious EP there, Jordan, know, and we'll make sure that you are able to join the conversation on air to defend your position. This upcoming Super Bowl, you're going to have that conversation for the next 10 plus days as to why New England has a better chance than we are giving them, why Seattle earned being favored because of their dominant defense that we've talked about for multiple situations and scenarios and opportunities throughout this night, why they are legitimately going to win because of Sam Darnold's performance over the past couple of years. I talked about his 30-5 or 30-7 record over the past couple of years. No quarterback in the history has been able to do that over a 2-year span. So, which team is the best team set up to win? Is this going to be a blowout like Griff said? Is this going to be a nail biter that we've seen the past couple of years where it could possibly be a high scoring overtime game? Is it where the two defenses are actually very good defenses are going to dominate and you see a low scoring boring-ish type Super Bowl? Or is it going to be one of those, whichever quarterback has the ability to really break through? Will it be Drake May finally ascending to glory? Or will it be the redhead, Mr. Sam I Am, the gingerbread man, Darnold, finally getting all of those rocks out of his rucksack, Griff, because he has reached his promised land as it pertains to his professional accolades. You know what I mean? That's how we gonna close the show at tonight. So y'all have a great and a phenomenal week. Y'all stay safe. We shall see y'all back here next Tuesday as we head into Super Bowl week. Talk about the NFL honors that's going to be happening on the Thursday night prior to the Super Bowl weekend. And then on Friday night show, we will talk about the game and quite possibly, if Troy decides to come out the dungeon, join the conversation on air, him and Fred.
Troy done already signed up, man. Troy done already signed up. Fred said he retired.
Fred, you can't be doing that, bro. We gonna have to pull your card. Griff, you remember when we were talking? I hate to kind of close the show out even a little bit more elongated than I usually do. But you remember before the show when we was talking about pulling each other's black card because you can't play Uno, spades, tongs, dominoes, or a particular game where, culturally speaking, you should be able to facilitate. Fred, we're gonna ban you from being able to participate in an NFL discussion because of one, what is that called, Griff?
A celebrationist.
Your celebrationism affiliation, and then two, cutting and tying before the Super Bowl. How can you just cut and tie before the Super Bowl, bro?
Well, Fred is a acclaimed director, man. He has other stuff going on right now, man.
I understand, but the way that you come across is that your passion is no longer in it.
Hey, man,
Come on, man. You have 31 jerseys. Just because that one jersey that you don't have is not participating, don't be mad. Come on, Fred.
Even the celebrationists get tired.
He said, I'm tired, boss.
Even the celebrations get tired sometimes. Fred got a whole bunch of projects going on right now too.
Yeah. Hey. Too much is given.
Much is required.
So Fred, I know you can do it because, bro, you are the man for the job. Don't be mad because you got 10 jobs. We all got 10 jobs.
Man, be on the lookout, man. Hey, Fred got something getting ready to go to Sundance as we speak. Y'all be on the lookout.
Really?
Y'all be on the lookout.
Man, you better put that information out there so that we can share that with the world, so that all of that information can be put out into the ether and go ahead and speak it into existence, as we would say, claim it. Before I can achieve it, I got to believe it. And before I can believe it, I got to be able to put it out there. So share that information, good friend. What Sundance movie are we going to be supporting going into the summer of 2026? Put that into the chat before we even log out tonight, and we can share that with everybody. Whenever
Tell me say you to start the show all over again, man.
Hey, after dark. Roundtable discussion.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Nobody say nothing about Club Shay Shay. Them jokers be going 3-4 hours, man.
I know, right? But yeah, it's time to log off. Sorry, Major. Y'all have a safe and a blessed week. We shall see y'all back here next Tuesday night as we talk about those Super Bowl predictions. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. Do something nice for yourself and your family. And please, if given the opportunity, do something nice for someone that you may not even know, because it just might be the best thing to happen to them and yourself on that particular day. Y'all stay strong. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all be breezy.
You don't throw a young guy out there that really doesn't have a full grasp of the National Football League and what's expected of him. Yes, in the first preseason game, vanilla off defenses He excelled at. But then as you start to get into things, Jalen, you start to get into the second preseason game, the third preseason game. Now all of a sudden there's stunts and there's games and there's blitzes and there's all these different exotic defenses that's coming at you. Come the regular season, it's a different game than the preseason. I'm not trying to get fired messing around with Sam Darnold right now. I can use the excuse later on in the year, if we're losing, I can insert him into the lineup and say, hey, look, he's playing great. Wait till next year. Right now, I can't do that as a new quarterback with a head coach that's basically on the hot seat.
How about our quarterback?
Each team that drafted a quarterback in the first round, guess what else they did? Acquired a veteran this offseason for that exact reason. Sammy Sosa for the first 3 or 4 games, and they're 1-3. Guess what the fans in New York are going to be doing? Booing their rookie. And then all of a sudden, your future isn't as bright because they're destroying his confidence.
He gonna get killed. Kilt. Okay? You don't want that.
Is that a Scottish reference?
You